Results follow structure, not willpower. Next, remember it is not the lawyer who knows all the laws, but one who best prepares his case who wins. Next, it does not have to be perfect. You just need to start. Next, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. Next, everything has a price, but not all the price appear on labels. Next, how you do anything is how you do everything. Next, life's battle doesn't always go to the stronger or the faster man. Sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Next, with right attitude, self-imposed limitations vanish. Next, victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. Next, the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Next, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Next, every bird that flies has a thread to infinite. Next, you get what you deserve, nothing more, nothing less, and you define what you deserve. Next, powerful people do not come from powerful places. They make the places powerful. Next, more is not better, better is better. Next, distraction is the only luxury for average people. Laser beam focus is mandatory for success. Next, it is not the strongest of the species that survive, not the most intelligent that survives, but that which is most adaptable to change. Next, we all act consistent with who we believe we are. Next, a man is great by deeds, not by birth. Next, the superior man is modest in his speech but exceeds in his actions. Next, in the long history of humankind, those who have learned to collaborate and improvise most effectively have prevailed. Next, nature loves symmetry. Next, violence is rarely the answer, but when it is the only answer. Next, we first make our habits and then our habits make us. Next, questions directs your focus. He who asks questions cannot avoid answers. Next, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who can not unlearn, relearn and learn. Next, when telling a story, you should have the three phases in order: the setup, the build up, and the payoff. Next, friendship is based on shared experiences, not time. Next, no one wants to hear everything that's in your head. They just want to live up to what comes out of your mouth. Next, we listen to the views that makes us feel good instead of ideas that makes us think critically. Next, when you can't win by being better, you can win by being different. Next, the more pride you have in a particular aspect of your identity, the more motivated you will be to maintain the habits associated with it. If you are proud of how your hair looks, you will develop all sorts of habits to take care and maintain it. Once your pride gets involved, you will fight tooth and nail to maintain your habits. Next, professionals stick to schedules. Amateur life get in the way. Next, your actions reveal how badly you want something. If you keep saying something is your priority but you never act on it, then you don't really want it. Your actions reveal your true motivations. Next, the ultimate form of interesting motivation is when a habit becomes a part of your identity. It's one thing to say that I am the type of person who wants this. It's something very different to say that I am the type of person who is this. Next, the person who is clear about why and what am I doing and how to do it, then he becomes unstoppable. Next, content is your heart that you share with the world in the form of text, audio, or video. Next, it is not the sheer number and volume of distraction that gets you into the trouble. It's the ease to access them. Next, it turns out that our brains are hardwired to perform at their best not when they are negative or not when they are neutral, but when they are positive. Next, when you change who you are, the world will shift to make ensure who you are is true. Next, a person who limits his potential success will limit what he will do to create it and keep it. Next, if you don't create new problems, then you are not taking enough actions. Next, if people can trust you, they can forgive your mistakes. If people can trust you, then you are diamond. Next, the opportunities you sit on are well within your own hands. Next, live your own way. Don't follow others' prescriptions. It's if you imitate them, you may reach the same place, but that will not be the place you wanna go. Next, when you educate and stay close from the right set of people, opportunities will come by design, not by luck. Next, where attention goes, energy flows and results shows. Next, action is the bridge between inner and outer. Every failed circumstance is an opportunity for us to dig deep and realize who we truly are. Next, overthinking is triggered by possibility of dangers and fear and can be easily erased by realizing the probability of that event to occur. Next, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. Next, what you hear, you forget. What you see, you remember. What you do, you understand. Next, give yourself the space to try. You will be surprised how the worst case scenario is not bad at all, and how the best case scenario, if it happens, can be life altering. Next, what starts as an excuse can easily become a habit. Don't let a bad day become a lifestyle. Next, a true mark of a pro at anything is that he understands, loves, and is good at even the degree of his profession. Next, before you ask what should I do today? Ask yourself, what should I remove today? Create the space you need to succeed. Next, when you visualize the worst case scenario, you are training your mind to be okay with when it happens if it happens. But the truth is that the worst case scenario is one of the million of the possibilities and everything else is going to be better than that. Because you have trained your mind for the worst thing that can happen to you, your mind is always at peace because everything which will be happening will be actually better than what you have imagined. At last, when you imagine the worst case scenario, you begin to appreciate what you already have. Next, one of my guiding principles is don't do anything that other people are doing. Always do something a little different if you can. Next, the concept is that if you do it a little differently, there is a greater potential for reward than if you do the same thing that the other people are doing. I think that this kind of goal for one's work, having obviously the maximum risk, would have the maximum reward no matter what the field may be. Next, look around your environment. Rather than seeing items as objects, see them as magnets for your attention. Each object gently pulls a certain amount of your attention towards it. Whenever you discard something, the tug of the object is released. You get your attention back. Next, people who hate being bad at stuff are driven to improve. However, if they are unwilling to look like a beginner from time to time, they will avoid new challenges and struggle to reinvent themselves. Meanwhile, people who are willing to try new things but lack a thirst to improve will settle for mediocre results. It's the willing to look foolish for a short time but not for a long time that leads to jump in the performance. Thank you for listening to part 2 of my knowledge toolbox.